Fire it up, footballers. Didn't know you were already here. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Chicago Fire tied yesterday 0-0 at Soldier Field with Orlando. We're going to get a little bit into that. We're going to get a little bit into the elephant in the room about a certain DP that by some metrics is performing fantastically and by other metrics is a source of controversy. So we'll get into that here. And a little bit of a game review. Have a little fun with you guys. And if you're lucky, little Atlantis. Well, all right, fire it up, footballers. Great to have you all here in the travel team. Make sure you check your lockers, get your Chicago Fire track jacket or whatever team you support, and you have your matchday scarf already folded up, back, ready for next game. It'll be March 12th at 6:30 p.m. You'll be able to hang out here on Spitting Fire at about 6 p.m. We'll be going live right around then, looking at some bets that are going to be probably the place to make. Hopefully we get a little advice from our buddy Mike on Sons of a Pitch Soccer podcast. Go check that out on YouTube. He's in our referenced YouTube channels. Hey, what's up, Connor? Fired up in the chat. Let's get some flames going. Connor, dude, how you feeling about your Columbus? Disappointing tie, especially when you guys had that 3-1 lead that you were reporting. That was a bummer. And we learned that the 2 goals that helped tie it for San Jose, ex-Chicago Fire player Francisco Calvo. Can you believe it? What are the odds? Let's get a little focus. Let's enjoy the warm weather that we got out here in Chicago. It is so nice. You can check out those mountains. Feels like Hawaii. Out on the lake today. And yesterday. Beautiful. Miracle March is here. Usually it works the other way around. All right, folks. I got some stuff we got to get into here. Let me begin to share with you this. The 5th annual Fire for Food Drive has already reached its goal of $10,000. So it's been extended for the rest, and that was basically before the second game of the season was even played, and we already met the goal. Fantastic work, all you travel and Chicago Fire fans and MLS people who helped out here to get this goal going. They now have reset the goal. It's now up to $25,000. So couple extra dollars onto that. So when we have a new goal, this will be the season goal, of course, and let's try and smash that. Greatly appreciate you guys could donate a couple dollars. $1 helps provide at least 3 meals. Incredible stuff there at the Greater Chicago Food Depository. They do great work for the community. I'll briefly mention this. It's only for the real G's who want to support the channel. We got a cool little Spitting Fire shop on Bonfire with some cool loot for you. Go take a look. Cool colors and everything. Keep it on the down low. Also, the first Chicago Fire fan-made NFT available, also with half the proceeds being donated to Fire for Food. So if you want to own the very first NFT, there it is. I mean, the very first Chicago fan-made NFT, and also greatly supports the show, as well as kicks off a huge initiative here at Chicago at Spitting Fire, in which we want to greatly do our part, help fund this 5th annual Fire for Food drive. So something to keep an eye on, and we'll move on to the next. So the reason we're here, not quite the reason that I'm showing you this picture. I just thought it was really cool. We got a lot of Chicago Fire legends in here. Peter Wilt, Evan Whitfield, Diego Gutierrez, DeMarcus Beasley, Logan Paz. I mean, legends. Legends of the Chicago Fire. So awesome to see them all together. And of course, as always, guys, kick that like button like you're taking a penalty kick at Soldier Field. And you're about to knock it up to the upper 90. Just bam! Helps destroy and score a goal on the YouTube algorithms. And if you are already a subscriber for Spitting Fire, you better believe that utterly delights us. And if we earned your subscription today, oh man, we'll be over the moon. And the moon is made of cheese. And that's a cow jumping over the moon reference. Maybe I got to get a little bit more direct there. But we'll move on. Really cool picture here. Loving what we're seeing. Look at that. The silverware. The men in red. The progenitors. Of course, hop in that Discord. Peter Wilt is also a member of a Spitting Fire Discord. If you want to come in, talk a little fire with us, throw a little audio log on the fire, more than welcome to. Come along. That's why we got the Discord set up for you guys. Let me do some double checking here. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Next on the docket, Fire Transfers pointed this out. As pointed out well, apparently Fire Reddit pointed out, and Fire Transfers is pointing out once again, and I'm pointing out again. This is the Fire's longest unbeaten streak to start a season since 2016. Winner draw versus DC would make it the longest unbeaten run to start the season since 2008, and we can confirm it is the longest unbeaten streak to start a season since 2008. So there it is, Fire fans. Huge beginnings for Chicago Fire. Start off with 2 points. It's better than 0. Look at what it means to Gaga. Oh, I can't do the audio there, but look what this means to Gaga. When that penalty call, or when that goal call got called back because of a handball, and it changed the game, but there Gaga was waiting for the call. He wants to keep that clean sheet. He is so competitive. And there it is. He's so pumped. Loving what I'm seeing out of Gaga. From our young goalkeeper, a stud in the making, already a stud. But take a look at this, Fire fans. This is incredible. This is from Matt Doyle posted this, but look at this. Antonio Carlos needed to be sure. Get a load of this, Fire fans. Did you just see that? Oh my God, what? Incredible save from Gaga Solinina. Actually, didn't even count because the guy was offside, but to see that type of reflexes, that type of response, that stare down that set up the save, I mean, he did everything right there. Awesome work by Gaga Solinina. Loving what I'm seeing there. Eric is too excited to be a Fire fan. Well, I hope he's gotten over that excitement and he can be a Fire fan once again. It's part of being a Fire fan right now, guys. We got Shaqiri here. We got Jairo Torres coming in May 1st. Simon is going to be a thing that Chicago Fire fans might have to get used to. It's pretty exciting times here on the lakefront. You better believe. Let me say this, though, says Eric, at EricDG08. Some of the worst refereeing in all of my matches I've been to. Pissed me off so much. But a positive is that even with all those calls against us, we still managed a 0-0 draw. We prevented them from scoring, even with the advantage they had. So we got an Orlando guy chiming in the advantage we had, laughing my butt off. That was your takeaway? Good Lord. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with this Orlando fan, because we had a couple Orlando fans in the live stream with us, and they were actually noting how biased the refs seemed. They were like, we seem to be getting some calls against you guys that I don't think we should be getting. And I thought that was interesting to note, because I actually had not picked up on that. I was watching for other things, doing commentating, but I missed that aspect. Of course, my color commentator, the chat, the best live chat in YouTube, pointed it out, and I was like, oh wow, that's gonna be something we're gonna have to watch out for all game. And sure enough, as the game went on, the referee, what are you doing? Honestly. Some of the calls that you were making, I couldn't bloody believe it. So hopefully the referee gets it all sorted before his next match. But certainly a couple calls that didn't go the Fire way, went the Orlando way, that were questionable at best. Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments as well if you're watching this video after the fact. If you guys saw anything that you thought was a little suspicious, a little sus, you know how the kids say it these days. And as always, put your other comments. Are you excited for the next Chicago Fire match? Who do you think is going to score? What's the score going to be? They're taking on DC United, March 12th, 6:30 p.m. at DC United. So, of course, like I said, check out all the away live streams over here on Spitting Fire. We'll, of course, be live about half an hour before that, about 6 o'clock, looking at some bets, just sizing that up and getting ready for the game. And, of course, I do my best to give you guys some play-by-play action. You guys are my color analysts and my color commentators, and I got the best in the game, so it just fun experience here if you guys are looking for a fun place to hang out. Moving on to the game. So, one of the reasons that we wanted to do this, we saw a lot of consternation, a lot of squawking, a lot of tweeting about a certain player on the Chicago Fire. This certain player was star of the match, 7.7 on the Richter scale. Gaston Gimenez, Chicago Fire's DP for the last 3 years. So, outstanding game from him, seemingly on paper. 7.7. The stats were all there. Now, just joined the Discord, Connor. Yeah, what's up? Awesome, Connor. Welcome to the Spitting Fire Discord. I have a bot that's supposed to be able to just, manage things and make things happen and move people around. So hopefully that worked. No, it did not. Of course it didn't. But boom, there it is. So I'm gonna just kick it in the lounge. If you guys all want to join, feel free. Come talk MLS. But right now I'm thinking about Gaston Gimenez and the 7.7 that he posted yesterday, which was fantastic. But look at this. A little bit of Alexis saying, if Gaston was a random player, I'd be impressed with the progress. But he's a DP in his 3rd season. That was a great little comment there from Little Bit Alexis. Joshua Norgard, friend of the show and follower of Spitting Fire over here on YouTube, big part of the live chat, says Ezra says that the way that the team played last week, it was hard to get fed on the field. I disagree. It's quite easy to remove Gaston from your lineup. Chris May, another live chatter here, or put Patea in for Ohmsberg and slot and Fed for CDM. I'm not so sure I agree with the Patea for Ohmsberg call. I think that Ohmsberg is starting center back right now for Chicago Fire. Joshua Norgard, of course, not pleased with that because that still leaves Gaston on the field. Gaston, player of the man of the match last game. So it's interesting that we have all these tweets, but we'll get into it a little bit more here. We'll get a little deeper. So Shakiri, welcome at Men in Red, friend of the show, saying, hi, I just got, he's been on our show a few times. Hopefully we'll get him on in the future as well. Hi, I just got done driving. So here's some thoughts. Gaston shouldn't start, 1. 2, Fabi and Ivanov are not good enough. Start Goody and Duran. God, is my music too loud, guys? Oh, okay, it's not too bad. 3, Navarro sucks. 4, Shaq is a massive class, but needs more to succeed on this roster. Please score a goal next game. Welcome, Shakiri. I disagree with some of these assessments. Gaston shouldn't start. Agree. Even though we saw what we saw there, Gaston should start still. Oh, I disagree. Okay, I mean, I agree and I disagree because this last game, he played his ass off. He's been playing his heart out for the Chicago Fire like he never has before. But, like over here, a little bit Alexis pointed out, it's been 3 years to get to this point. But we're at this point, and he is finally playing well. We can't just take that and throw that in the can and throw that away. But there are some reasons you may want to put him on the shelf. We'll get into that very shortly here. Some interesting video and tape that we will show you that really begs the question of, I mean, yeah, he's showing up on the stat sheet, but take a look at this. So still, let's continue my argument here. Gaston shouldn't start. I think there's a case for that. But number 2, Fabi and Ivanov are not good enough. Start Goody and Duran. I disagree slightly there. Fabian Herbers is absolutely good enough. Ivanov, I'm still questioning. Brian Gutierrez has looked good in his short time available for the Chicago Fire. I mean, short time playing for the Chicago Fire. Young, homegrown player. Very excited to see what he can bring. Can he start for the Chicago Fire? I think he has before, and maybe he deserves a shot now, but I don't think he brings to the wing what Ivanov or Fabian Herbers does. He brings something different. He brings something different to that wing. And if you're taking Ivanov, who I think is kind of our pace guy right now, kind of that guy who's there to stretch the lines for everybody. Meanwhile, Fabian Herbers can act as a go-between for Shaqiri between Gaston Gimenez and right now Mauricio Pineda. But that's, once again, there's more questions about what I'm just referring to, because there's gaps in that midfield that seem to develop during the game where we're wondering, why isn't Gaston maybe pushing up a little bit more and maybe offering that link to Shaqiri? Miguel Navarro sucks, says at Men in Red. Disagree. I think we have a promising left back here who's shown up and been part of that attacking and defensive unit on both sides. Yes, there's been some mistakes. Yes, he's a little bit chippy. Yes, he plays on the edge to a certain degree, but I like what I've seen out of Navarro. I mean, you can point to a few mistakes. Still a kid. I think he's 22, 21. Let's double check that. Takes 2 seconds to do. Miguel Navarro. Think about doing it live. Of course, I didn't spell his name right. Yeah, he's 23 years old, quite young. He's finally getting locked in as the starter, where last year, you know, was a little bit of him, a little bit of Johnny Bornstein. But maybe what Men in Red's point out is that he just doesn't trust him. I think that's fair. He's still young. He's still developing. He's still figuring things out about how to be able to be aggressive and also play defensive within himself. So, but at the same time, we're on 2 clean sheets, and this entire back line is a part of that. Miguel Navarro, big part of those clean sheets. Offensively, he's been doing some things. I want him to do a little bit more. Get those crosses, get those left-footed crosses in good spots for Przybyłko. Find Shaqiri at the top of the box. Find Shaqiri at the about 28 yards outside of the box. Away, off the back line, basically, is what I'm saying. 28 yards from the goalkeeper. And find him in those spaces where Shaqiri wants to collect the ball and be dangerous and maybe get a long shot off. That's what we need to see out of Miguel Navarro. I still liked what I've seen. I like what I've seen from a lot of these guys. What have we not liked? I mean, that's the question. So, Man in Red saying he did not like Herbers. Herbers played on the edge all last game, and that was something that was a little scary there for a minute there. We thought he might have almost got himself booked as a second yellow. Got himself sent off, really put the Fire in a bad position. But as we recognized really quickly, Fabian Herbers might need to come off playing a little too aggressive. Still think he's a good Fire player. Przybyłko didn't get the greatest of service. Shaqiri did so much, but he's getting dragged out of position because of Gaston Gimenez and Pineda's ability or desire to sit back. I mean, guys, if you want to point out about Gaston's ability to sit back, he was the one furthest. There's a couple points where he was deeper than Chicos and Olmsberg, trying to get the ball and then instigate the forward movement, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But if he's supposed to be the link to Shaqiri and not Pineda, and Pineda's supposed to be that back pivot, why is he that deep? Why is it not Pineda that deep? And guys, has Pineda done enough to stay out there? I think so. I like what I've seen from Pineda, but still figuring it out, still young, still needs to up his game defensively and offensively, find those passes, find those passing lanes. Gimenez yesterday was getting all sorts of into passing lanes. I mean, he played a hell of a game defensively yesterday, Gaston Gimenez. He was all over, intercepting balls, getting his leg in the passing lanes. Balls were careening off him and just falling to Fire players, and it was helping instigate the attack. It was there's a reason he got 7.7, but at the same time, I still haven't even touched on more of the complaints. We got more coming. But so Shaqiri, at Men in Red saying, I just don't trust Navarro. I can understand that not trusting the young left back. But like I said, I think there's something there, and you got to keep going with them. Who else are you going to go with? Bornstein, which is a quality player, but he's getting up in age, and I don't think he offers the level of athleticism that you're actually getting out of Miguel Navarro right now. Lee Kresner saying, I thought that Duran looked nervous and uncontrollable. Navarro played awful. Guti needs to start over Fabi. Agreed there. He came in and offense had a little spark. There was absolutely a spark with Brian Gutierrez stepping out in that field. I thought Gaston was okay. The problem is you're playing with both Gaston and Pineda. It just feels so defensive. And therein lies the rub. We have 3 super defensive midfielders, and all of a sudden it's starting to feel not reminiscent of 2017, because I think all over the pitch we got great quality, but Rafa Chicos, would you call that an upgrade on Bastian Schweinsteiger's defensive ability? I think so. And his offensive ability has been fantastic. The way he's been driving that ball forward. He has been an guys, am I saying something obnoxious here when I say that Rafa Chicos has been a better defender and a better part of the offense than Bastian Schweinsteiger was, and at least in his first 2 games here? I don't hope I'm not speaking on term, but I think that has been the case. Captain has been fantastic. Really like what I've seen out of him. Really like what we've seen out of Ohmsberg. Look at his Ohmsberg with a 7.7 last game. Right behind Gimenez. People want to sit him? No way you want to pick up this back pairing that's led up 0 goals against so far. Even where we got that nervous goal that got called back. The real question marks, like you guys said, okay, I'll give you this. Navarro, do we get a run out of Bornstein to maybe give Navarro a push up? Do we give Fabian Herbers some bench time just to let Brian Gutierrez get a run out? I think that's a very worthwhile shout out. Ivanov, do we sit down Ivanov for John Duran? I think that's shout. But also some people were tweeting out, including Paul Tenorio, saying, I'm done with the John Duran at right wing experiment. So something to keep your eye on. He wants John Duran to get some time at the spot where Prishabilko is. Of course, also, there were moments in that game where we saw a 4-4-2. That was mostly in defense. In offense, I feel like we saw 4-2-3-1, 4-1, 4-1-1, 3-1. Because, I mean, Gaston was dropping so far back, and Pineda's playing off him up. So, a couple things that the Fire need to work out offensively. And defensively, they're very solid, though. AK Gaming disputing me, though, saying Navarro should start in Gaston. Oh, no, not disputing me at all. Even if you were, I'm here to be disputed. Navarro should start instead of Gaston, saying, Fed Navarro, you think it's time? Even though Gaston was man of the match last game, and he had hell of a stats, I still have not even gotten into what the problem was. It's so crazy to me, though. People acting like Ohmsberg being good as a defender came out of nowhere. He was pretty good last year, LOL. He was decent last year. He wasn't this. He was not this. Because how could you be this next to Calvo and just the question marks that they had at defense? It just wasn't working. Next to Chicos, Wyatt Ohmsberg is looking like a gem of a pickup. Alex Campbell saying, Fire thoughts, start Gutierrez over Herbers. More Herbers dislike and more Gutierrez love here, guys. I disagree with that notion. I'm still with Herbers, but maybe shift over Herbers to that right side instead of Ivanov, and then you bring in Brian Gutierrez on that left side, because they all offer different things. Ivanov offers, I think he's more of that guy who stretches everybody, trying to be that Frankowski role that was here, where he would try and stretch defenses with his pace, where Prishabilko could use his height and be that center forward piece, that pivot, target man. Draw people on. Shaqiri's your number 10 and is able to help create things. So you got Ivanov running, and then you have Fabian Herbers who could leak inside and possibly help out. Maybe it's time for Ivanov to sit, bring in Brian Gutierrez. But if you do that, I think Brian Gutierrez on that left side, maybe. Who knows? Or the right side. We'll see. Let's know in the chat. Now, Navarro over Gaston, this ties into what AK Gaming's saying. Bringing Gaston Gimenez back already looks like a predictably terrible decision. Alex Campbell saying, I drop him for Navarro if he's fit enough to start, which is, to me, it doesn't boggle my mind, but he had a great game last game. Gaston Gimenez had one of his best games as a Fire player, but I'll tell you this, a couple of those shots long shots that he took were absolute wastes. My grandma could hit it harder with her purse, some of those long shots, and I was like, you're supposed to be an MLS starting center midfielder, and these are the shots you're unleashing that are like, oh my, they were embarrassingly bad to me. Not looking good long shots, but defensively, Gaston was everywhere. That's why he got this 7.7 over here. He got that 7.7 because of the defensive rate. His offensively, didn't really see too much. Didn't see enough offensively, and that's why I think everybody's picking up on. They're like, if we're gonna play a guy defensively, let's play Fed, who's more active, and let's try and figure out something better here for the offense. But if you're gonna do that, does that mean that Ezra's gonna sit Patea instead? I know all of you guys want Gimenez to sit, but doesn't it seem more likely that Ezra would sit Patea? For better or for worse? Good game for the back four plus Patea. Team is much more solid than last year. Alex Campbell also saying, I agree. Gimenez was really good tonight, says Nice Boy. Not sure where Navarro is, but would love to see them side by side. So Nice Boy wants to see Navarro versus Gimenez. Guys, this is a budding controversy right now. People are disappointed with what Gimenez brings to the team, but yet what Gimenez brings to the team is some quality. Is there better quality in Fed Navarro? AK Gaming saying yes. Frank Campbell saying yes. A lot of people saying yes. AK saying we need to get another striker. I think that at that point, why not just play Duran? Sit Prishabilko and see what you have in Duran. What do you think about that, AK? I mean, yeah, where are you going to get another striker? First off, because Prishabilko, he averages about 8 to 12 goals a season. And it's a 34-game season. 8 to 12 goals inside the next 32 games is what we're expecting out of Prishabilko. So I know everybody's disappointed he hasn't scored these first 2 games, but you got to think that it's coming. This guy's not Nikolic, who had like a goal every 120 minutes. He has a goal every 200 plus minutes. So do we need another striker, or do we need to give these guys time to figure it out? Prishabilko looked okay to me at times, but at this, and there, honestly, I mean, like, I don't know what another striker would have been able to do that Prishabilko wasn't able to do. If you could explain that to me, AK, I'm definitely curious to. The Fire looked like they were in jello on in certain points on offense. Although, get this, they were the more aggressive team of the two. I had Orlando fans on here. AK, you were here too. I mean, I had Orlando people here, and they were thinking that Fire were the slightly better team throughout the match, slightly more creative, slightly more attacking, but only just so. I mean, still, it was like they were caught in like the swamp. AK is saying we could use an offer. AK saying also we could use Duran yesterday. He was playing like RB. He was playing like a right back. How far back he was. That's a good point. Really, Duran and Paul Tenorio noticed this too. He was playing more like a right back, right midfielder than the right winger, was what you need him to be. So if he can't really play that, he's still young, guys. Everybody's like ready to throw out. This is the thing. Sometimes I'm on the same side of, and then sometimes I'm on the other side of where I am standing right now. I'm like, a lot of you guys are ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater before we even know what the baby is yet. Like, we need a few games here. John Duran has not even started yet. He's had 20 to 40 minutes a game to try and figure out that right side in MLS as a 17 or as an 18-year-old. He's not the only 18-year-old out there still trying to figure it out too. Gago Slinina making his fair share of mistakes, but also keeping all those clean sheets, despite a few of those mistakes. Just one or two here. You saw him bobble a play, but then you see those huge saves and breakaway and all that. So he's got it going. We need to start seeing some of those types of flashes out of everybody, and I think that's where you guys are all at. I think they're coming. I think the Miguel Navarro flash is coming. I think the Mauricio Pineda click is coming. I think Sekulic, something going on with Sekulic and that right back. I don't like, they just seem so, they don't seem as involved. I don't know what's going on that right back side and that right wing side, but something needs to change there. We have Ivanov and Sekulic out on that right side, and you really feel like that should be more dangerous. I don't think it has been that as dangerous as it should be. AK saying, yeah, we have a lot of possession, but we don't know what to do on top. We've been inside the opponent's mid-third and final third a lot more than we ever have. But what we've done with that, some of the squander, and that aggression is great, but we're still squandering our chances and not getting the type of chances that, they're not creating the type of chances that you need to do to score goals. There's still some jello there, especially in the final third, that's in the way. Some cones that the ball hits and ricochets off and it's going the other way, that they have to figure out. AK saying Pineda played well yesterday. He only got a 6.3 here, but I thought he played a little bit better than that. I could give him a 6.5. I feel like he needs to offer a little bit more offensively. Couple mistakes, couple times where he passed the ball, made the wrong pass. Couple times he made the right pass. And the runs he needs to make, and he needs to, where he needs to sit in the midfield as far as offense goes. Defensively, he also needs to tighten things up. A lot for Pineda to improve upon, but still not a bad showing. Doesn't look horrible. Doesn't look like a rookie. Looks like a second-year player getting close to figuring it out. Navarro, I think, looks like that too. And I know we're getting a lot of Miguel Navarro distrust, and I don't know. You guys got to point to more stuff for me, because what I've seen is a player who gets forward. I see a player who gets back. I see a player who hustles on every play, who does not stop running. I see a player who has an engine, a motor. The decision-making needs to get there, couple decisions need to improve. I absolutely agree with that assessment, but remember, this is a young kid, 23 years old, not an MLS veteran, still trying to figure it out, and I think he's getting close. But all the same, I'm open to interpretation and other arguments. Boris Sekulic pitched a 6.9 yesterday, but a quiet 6.9 in my opinion. AK Gaming saying, yeah, I would play Duran on top next game if Casper can't score in the first half next game. So you're saying give Casper 45 minutes more, so he'll have 90 plus 90 plus 45 minutes of soccer. If he doesn't score a goal sometime in that's 2.5 games, it's time to look elsewhere. You need a guy who scores a goal every 2.5 games. You're absolutely right, AK. And I'm sorry, Casper. Yes, we acquired you. Yes, we paid a lot of money for you, but if we have somebody else here who can score goals, we got to try them out. We have to win games. So AK disputing my notion, saying Miguel Navarro didn't play a good game yesterday, did not play well. And, you know, it's backed up by the stats here, 6.4. Looks like he had 71% passing, 2 tackles. Could have played a lot better. His crosses were not there. All the same, for me, I'm like, I'd rather play Miguel and risk the growing pains rather than Bornstein out there. Bornstein, I need to get out there when I need to give Navarro a spell. Interested to see the Burks kid, too. AK saying, I'll give Casper 60 minutes next game. So that's a game and a half plus. But if he doesn't score inside those 60 minutes, okay, I think you're onto something here, AK. I think you're right. It's 60 minutes. You don't score inside those 60 minutes, we're bringing on John Duran. We're going to give him 40 minutes this game. Next game, we're starting John Duran. Because we've just given Casper so many minutes. I'm not the greatest at math. 90 plus 90 plus 60. 240 minutes. a goal, and for a striker, if you can't score in that 240 minutes. But like I said, Casper does not have the greatest strike rate. We got basically a discount Beric, who's better, who's much better than Beric in a few different places on the field. But all the same, he was inches from scoring a goal on Andre Blake that very first game. Am I thinking the wrong goalkeeper? The very first game, Inter Miami. Yeah, no, Diop. He was inches from scoring on Diop in that very first game. Diop had a huge save, fingertips, and he did save a big shot from Casper. So, I mean, he already could be sitting on one. We just haven't seen it. But how much longer can we actually give him time is the question. AK saying 60. I could go with that. I could deal with that. Still haven't even gotten into what I want to show you guys. Here's Brian Sandow. I think he's the one who makes one of the strongest arguments for Gaston Gimenez probably to sit. Gaston Gimenez is not exactly repaying the faith Georg Heitz showed him. He tweeted during the game, but then he goes and pitches a 7.7. So don't know yet. And by the way, everybody, if you guys could take a moment and kick that like button like it's a penalty kick, greatly appreciated. Greatly helps score on the YouTube algorithms and helps Spitting Fire, MLS, and Chicago up the fire. So let's get it going. And if you're a subscriber for Spitting Fire, we love you. Let's go. And if you are going to subscribe to us, that would utterly delight us. Let's go. Hop in here, hit that bell icon, get notified of our live stuff. We are a ball, and we have the greatest live chat in the game. Greatest color analyst. We do live games for Chicago Fire all the time. We do MLS. Did UFC yesterday. Oh man, we had a blast in the chat. You better believe you check out your locker. Got your own Chicago Fire track jacket in there, or a team, whatever team you support. If it's not in there, talk to the lady at the front desk. She'll take care of you. No worries. Get yourself some nachos, at the concession stand. Get yourself a fine drink. Settle up in the first row, and let's get back to hanging out and discuss Chicago Fire. Boys and girls, love it. Gaston Gimenez not exactly showing the repaying it. So Brian Sandow also saying, as you can see, my opinion on Gimenez's performance is clear. It's also in direct contrast with Ezra Hendrickson, the coach of the Chicago Fire. These guys came out and played really well tonight. Tonight, I'm very impressed, and I want to talk about individuals. Gaston Gimenez, he showed me something very, very special. The way he played today, the ground he covered today, that's what you need to see from your DP, and that trickles down. You know, when the young guys see your DP making tackles like that and working hard like that, you have no choice. You know it's contagious. So it's good to see it. It's good to see that, and I'm very happy over the course of the two games that what we've done now. Am I satisfied? No, because I want to see goals. I want to see the ball in the back of the net. Like I said previously, so good. Another good game, but we need to create more chances. So guys, I don't think we're going to see any less of Gaston Gimenez after reading Coach Ezra Hendrickson's words. How can he sit a player that's showing him that? It just wouldn't make sense for him to do that. But then Brian posted this, says, yes, there was this showing, yet there was this showing, which could have been the crucial play of the game. Take a look at this, folks. So the cross comes in. There's Gimenez, by the way. Right there, number 30. And the ball is it above? Here's Wyatt Ohmsberg. Wyatt Ohmsberg steps up from behind him. Wait, it's still not over. Gimenez. By the way, Gimenez is guarding this guy. He should be looking at this guy or Pineda. Like Pineda here. Somebody needs to guard this guy. Because this is the guy who is the eventual shot taker. Comes across. He's drawn over here, but of course you still have him over here. He should be here. Mistakes abound, but look at this loaf by Gaston Gimenez. He just doesn't even run. He takes 2 steps, 3 steps. What is he doing here? He's the center mid. He's too deep. Too deep. Boys and girls. And he just doesn't move. Bounces off Sekulic into the net. So once again, right here is Gaston. Doesn't move. Just questionable. Like He's not in the right position, and I think that makes everybody else be in the not right position. Because who is in the right position? Right position. I think he's okay there. Well, somebody needs to get number 13. And Pineda's thinking about it. Pineda's locked at 13, Tesche. And Chicos has got him. Ohmsberg's got him. Ohmsberg leaves his zone. Now Gaston has to stay inside the zone. Somebody needs to get out here. It's either Pineda or Gaston. It could be either or's mistake here. But look at this. Pineda has to step there. But he has not moved. He's not helping the situation by doing what he's doing. If he had stepped forward, it creates another blocking lane. And boom, there's the almost goal that almost ruined the game, but luckily did not. So they make an interesting argument. Particularly saying Gaston does his special move. Spin. So, but at Skyway Willie saying he looks like he might have taken a knock before the replay started. Otherwise, he's replacement level MLS player masquerading as a DP. So let us know what you guys think about Gaston Gimenez, guys. The elephant in the room. Ezra Hendrickson, of course, looking to stick with him. Fire fans looking to get rid of him. So where do you stand on this? Let me know in the comments and in the live chat. As always, greatly interested to hear about it. And as always, guys, kick that like button. Helps burn down the YouTube algorithms. Make sure you, and commenting does too. Let's go. Dago saying he needs to go. Fire fans hopefully get stuck in the bench next, but I don't see it happening. Not after reading those comments from Ezra. I'm sorry I'm the bearer of bad news here, guys. I don't disagree with a lot of your notions. We've seen it. The eye test, he's failing. Defensive for us, but not so for Coach Ezra Hendrickson, or what he needs out of this team. It could be very demoralizing too once he sits this guy. Like if he sits this guy, it's over for Gaston Gimenez. It's like once you move on there, you make that decision. I feel like he'll show us what he's shown us, which is checks out, and he's out of the picture, which is not what you want to do. Ezra wants to keep these guys engaged. He needs all of these players for the whole rest of the season. So like it or not, we might have to give Gaston a little bit of love, a little bit of support, and a little bit of cheer, and hopefully cheer him on to a little bit better things. As crappy as it might seem right now, that we have been disappointed with some of his performances, but you let him know and hopefully he can improve. Dr. Norgard saying Gaston when he's on the field, I have no idea what's going on. Carl Miller saying he was 2 steps behind the speed of play all night. I just don't understand why he's out there, let alone as a DP. Laura Barrett saying, okay guys, here's the angle. There's me on row 1 looking straight on, and the ball literally slides down both his forearms and straight off both hands. There's no way that would never not be a handball. You can't get a better angle than that. It was a legit call by the refs. Cool. Yeah, I thought it was a handball. Dago saying this quote is, as I pointed out, this quote from Ezra is concerning. It might be that I'm not as good as reading soccer strategy. This quote from Ezra is concerning. It might be that I am not as good as in reading soccer strategy, but I'm sure that a lot of fans feel the same way about him, says Dago. AK saying Gaston's too slow. In the chat, though, at the Great Mata saying, I guess I'm the only one that thinks Gimenez is good. Patrick McCraney tweeting out, yeah, the Fire's attack is a mess through 2 games. But I love this quote from Ezra Hendrickson about how solid the defense is in the foundation of what they're trying to do. If we're not going to win the game, you're not going to win the game. That's a quote there. A controversial VAR call erased a second half Orlando goal, helping the Fire keep a clean sheet for a second straight week. Through 2 games this season, it's become clear the Chicago Fire are a defense-first team. The Fire posted a second straight clean sheet in a 0-0 draw with Orlando City in front of 25,477 fans Saturday night at Soldier Field, a record. But while the Fire's defense prevented Orlando from registering a single shot on target, the Chicago attack was toothless for much of the match. 2 straight scoreless draws to start the 2022 season. Is that concerning or inspiring? I think it's inspiring. I think that's something to build on here, boys and girls. The Fire coach, Ezra Hendrickson, a former MLS defender, for him, it means his team is getting the most important thing right. If we're not going to win the game, you're not going to win the game because we're not going to allow you to score, said Hendrickson after the match. The center back pairing of Rafa Chicos and Wyatt Ohmsberg was strong for a second straight week, and Gabriel Slonina earned his 6th career clean sheet in his 13th career start. But as strong as the Fire were defensively, they still needed help from a VAR decision to help keep that clean sheet. It appeared Orlando had found the opening goal in the 73rd minute when Junior Urso's shot deflected off Boris Sekulic's knee and snuck past Slonina. But after a lengthy video review by match official Ismar Pekmic, the goal was reversed because Pekmic determined Ersan Kara used his arms to trap the ball just prior to Urso's shot, resulting in a handball call. Pekmic said this was a clear and obvious handling offense in the attacking phase of play. Said later in an email. Hendrickson said from his vantage point, the referee made the right decision. God for VAR, Hendrickson said with a laugh. AK Gaming saying defense was good yesterday. Chicos is really strong, which I heard Chicos was questionable for the game. I got a little nervous because we need this guy all season long. He is the heart of this team. He's the heart of the attacking phase. He's the heart of the defensive phase. He is what makes this team tick. I'm absolutely loving every single minute we've gotten out of Rafa Chicos and the stuff we haven't seen. Incredible. Loving the leadership he's displaying. Despite the Fire's strong play defensively, the team struggled to create scoring chances. Orlando seemed content to keep numbers behind the ball and play for the point. The Fire's best scoring chance came late in second half stoppage time when Xherdan Shaqiri, who created a game-high 4 chances, sent a cross to the back post to a streaking Brian Gutierrez, who headed the ball just over the goal. While the Fire created plenty of good chances but failed to convert in the opening game of the season last week against Inter Miami, the team's attack was lackluster for most of this match, something Hendrickson guaranteed would change as the season continues. It's not too concerning because we have enough quality to get some goals, Hendrickson said. The goals will come. Had we been sitting here after a 3-3 tie, I wouldn't have liked that. Not that I like a 0-0 tie, but at least we're doing the defensive part right. Hendrickson also went out of his way to praise the play of designated player Gaston Gimenez, who again started in deep-lying midfield role. Gimenez often draws the ire of fans for taking poor shots and a perceived lack of effort, but he led the team in recoveries and tackles won for the night. He showed me something very, very special, Hendrickson mentioned without even being asked about Gimenez. The way he played today, the ground he covered today, that's what you need to see from your DP, and that trickles down. When the young guys see your DP making tackles like that, working hard like that, you have no choice, guys. There it is from Ezra. No choice but to keep starting him. Next up for the Fire, they travel to Washington, D.C. to take on D.C. United at Audi Field on Saturday night, March 12th, 6:30 p.m. You'll be able to catch that on WGN TV and CF97 Live if you live inside of the 75-mile radius of Chicago, or on ESPN Plus if you live outside of that zone. And of course, we'll be streaming it live here, streaming a live watch-along watch party. So come hang out, put your thoughts in the chat while you're watching the game. Just if you got the stream set up next to you of the game, put us over on the side, toss your chats into the Fire, and we'll see what we could do and have a little fun, because that's what we do over here at Spitting Fire. Make sure you got that bell icon to know when we go live. Defense was strong yesterday. Really loving what I'm seeing out of the back line. Oh, Wyatt Ohmsberg just keeps impressing me, AK. Chat. Brian Sandolau saying, Xherdan Shaqiri fire quiet in a forgettable 0-0 tie with Orlando City. An announced crowd of 25,477 saw little to remember at the home opener Saturday. In some ways, the Fire's home opener Saturday was what fans hoped for when Joe Mansueto bought the franchise in 2019. Yet, the forgettable 0-0 tie against Orlando City showed how much work still remains. Xherdan Shaqiri, a well-known and big-money designated player, suited up as part of a roster that seemingly had been improved during a busy off-season in which the Fire flexed the financial muscle. Freed from the disastrous Fire Crown logo and that failed rebrand, the franchise embraced a return to red as its primary color with signage around the field, even though the home jersey won't be that color in 2024. AK Gaming confirming with my belief that Ohmsberg is, in fact, quite good. The announced crowd of 25,477, the second largest for a home opener in team history, exuded with anticipation when Shaqiri was on the ball. Even the rest of the night, the fans were engaged and enthusiastic, starting with a new pre-game flag-waving tradition led Saturday by club legend DeMarcus Beasley. The atmosphere was great, infielder Mauricio Pinedo said. For me, playing at home, it's great to see a crowd like that. At one point, the game was paused, and I saw a wave going around the stadium, so that was amazing. It's amazing to see that type of atmosphere at our game, so we're excited to have more of that in the upcoming home games, says Mauricio Pineda. In his first home game, Shaqiri, who was unavailable for comment after the game, once again played all 90 minutes and led the Fire with 4 created chances. He also paced them with 11 passes completed in the final third. AK Gaming, of course, saying, I think Fire could get more fans in the stadium if we start winning. I absolutely concur with that statement. AK Gaming, absolutely agree with you, man. I think this is the start of something special. I was saying this yesterday on stream. 25,477, that's just the beginning. You better believe in the middle of summer, we're going to be able to pull more when we're winning and somebody else big comes to town. You know, somebody fun. Some people fun. Maybe Georgi Mihailovic comes to town. People get excited for that. Maybe another big team comes to town from, say, LA Galaxy. I don't know. I don't know the schedule off the top of my head. But in the middle of summer, I think we're going to get some high capacity matches. It'll be quite fun. Those passes and chances, however, didn't lead to anything, and the scoreless draw was probably not what anybody wanted to see. In a game with few clear opportunities, the closest anybody came to scoring was in the 73rd minute, when a shot by Junior Urso of Orlando City deflected off Fire defender Boris Sekulic's knee and passed the Fire goalkeeper Gabriel Solina. After review, however, it was determined that Orlando City's Erkan Kara handled the ball in the setup, taking the goal off the scoreboard. I guess that's why you have video assistant referee, VAR, to help in these situations like that, said Fire coach Ezra Hendrickson, who was making his home debut. I'll have to go back and look at it to be clear about it, but when he brought that ball down, I thought he might have trapped it with both arms. Thank God for VAR, I guess. The result was the second consecutive scoreless draw for the Fire to begin the season, following the tie February 26th at Inter Miami. How that looks depends on your view, though. It's good for the Fire that their defensive woes from the last few seasons haven't cropped up, but they are struggling to score after preseason in which the offense didn't click. The lack of goals is not too concerning because I think we have enough quality to get some goals, Hendrickson was saying. I think the goals will come. Had we been sitting there after a 3-3 tie, I don't think I would have liked that. Not that I like a 0-0 tie, but at least we're doing the defensive part of it and we're keeping it intact. The Fire didn't stay intact after the last season, bringing in Hendrickson and overhauling their attack. Clearly, not everything has clicked so far. That is true. This is something that's going to be a step-by-step process, defender Miguel Navarro said through translator. We have a new coach with new ideas, and I think with each new game, we're going to start getting better and find our rhythm. I agree with Miguel Navarro. I agree with Ezra Hendrickson. I agree to a degree with friend of the show, Brian Sandolau. Some things to be concerned about, but at the same time, promising promising stuff there in Chicago to build upon. I'm liking what Chicago Fire are, the program that we're installing this year. Now we just need to install some goals in the back of the net. We got the player ratings here from Alex Calabrese at AM Calabrese 12 on Twitter. The Chicago Fire remain unbeaten in MLS following another 0-0 draw, this time in their home opener against Orlando City. The Fire lacked productivity in the final third, and after surviving a VAR scare, held on to secure a point in front of 25,000 fans. Starting lineup, left to right, and you know what it is. Gago Slanina pitching a 7. Miguel Angel Navarro pitching a 6.5. Rafa Chicos with a 7. Wyatt Ohmsberg with a 7.5. Boris Akulich throwing off a 6.5. Throwing a softball. Gaston Gimenez, meanwhile, pitching a fastball, 7.5. Mauricio Pineda with the changeup, 6.5. Fabian Herbers with the 12-9 curve. 12-6 curve. Fabian with 12-6 curve with a 6. Jordan Shaqiri, looking at his watch, finding out that it's at 7. Stanislav Ivanov throwing up a 6. I think maybe a 5.5. And Kasper Przybylko getting a 5 from Alex Calabrese. I'm not so sure I agree with Przybylko as a 5, but if I'm saying Ivanov is a 5, maybe he's not far off with a 5 for Przybylko. Substitutes: Brian Gutierrez getting a 6. John Duran getting a 5. Ezra Henderson getting a 7. Delightful. And of course, we got some awesome stuff for next week on the bets. I wonder who is going to win. Let us know your guys' picks. Very curious. We got Austin versus Miami. Austin, of course, the favorite. LAFC versus Portland. LAFC, the favorite. That's today. Next week, we have, for match week 3, we have NYCF versus Montreal Impact. Right now, it seems like you would take NYCFC. Miami CF taking on LAFC at home. I would take LAFC here. I think that would be a great play. You know what? I'm just going to take that. Columbus Crew versus Toronto FC. Now, Columbus Crew coming off a wicked comfort behind tie that they got snuck back in the game upon by Matias Almeida's San Jose. So disappointing result there for Columbus Crew and friend of the show, Connor, and his men in yellow, that yellow team that we try not to give too much love to, but we give them respect. And they're taking on Toronto FC, who's yet to find their first win of the season with Bob Bradley. Now, of course, this game's going to be at Columbus, so you would think that Columbus has the advantage. It might be a game I'd stay away from, though. Seattle Sounders versus LA Galaxy. I think I'd take the Seattle Sounders with prejudice there. I don't think that the LA Galaxy have the greatest of teams, but they do have Chicharito, even though they just came off a big win and I made some money off of Charlotte. Thank you, Sons of Pitch Soccer Podcast. Make sure you guys give them a follow on YouTube. Great little advice from them all the time on tips on how to bet MLS. Got them, of course, in my recommended channels. If you are unable to, if you don't want to go do the search work, it's right there. Just click over to Friends of the Show. Boom, you'll see them. Houston Dynamo versus Vancouver Whitecaps. I don't know who you would take there. Let me know in the comments below or in the chat. Who would you rather take there? Houston Dynamo versus Vancouver Whitecaps at Houston. I think Hector Herrera might be going to make will be playing in that game, hopefully. But maybe that influences something. Orlando City taking on an NFC Cincinnati. FC Cincinnati getting no love. I think Orlando picks that up. Philadelphia Union taking on San Jose Earthquakes. I'm going to take the Union again. DC United versus Chicago Fire, and DC, it'll be at DC United. Do you guys see a Chicago Fire win is in the cards? Or will DC United take it? Or will we see a third tie for the Fire? Let us know in the comments below. Curious to hear your guys' pick here. New England, and curious to hear all your picks as I offer these all up to you. Of course, offer us your favorite picks of the week, and maybe we will ride with you on a little betting ticket. New England Revolution versus Salt Lake City. I like the Revolution. Bruce Arena, I think, just got one of his another big win in his career and history, and so that's awesome for Bruce Arena. Ain't gonna stop. That train ain't stopping anytime soon. FC Dallas versus Nashville. Nashville, of course, I think the better team here, but nobody has a lot of confidence in that game, is what you're saying. I'm not having too much confidence in betting it either. I'm not so sure. Colorado Rapids versus Sporting Kansas City. Another two teams that seem pretty evenly matched. might want to stay away from that unless you guys know something that I don't. New York Red Bulls playing out of their minds these first 2 games. They have 7 goals scored again, 4. They've been playing really well. They're taking on Minnesota United at home. You gotta ride with the New York Red Bulls in that. So we'll throw out a little we'll throw out a little lotto ticket on those games there to win. I didn't put fire on there because sometimes you gotta be careful. You can't always go with your heart. I'm trying to think about it logically. I'm honestly yesterday, I thought the Fire had it in the bag. You better believe Jordan Shaqiri and Rafa Chicos are pissed this week that they did not get that opening win for those Chicago Fire fans and the Soldier Field faithful. Hopefully you better believe they're looking to amend that, and they're training even harder this week to get that win. DC United better watch out. Of course, guys, that is a blast always talking with you guys, talking Fire, talking MLS. I think that's going to do it for me today. We're on Firecast 97. Greatly appreciate you guys all hanging out here. Of course, ring that bell icon. Hit that subscribe button. If you already did, oh, you better believe it utterly delights us. Check your locker. You got something special in there waiting for you. Stop at the concession stand on your way out. Grab yourself a little drink for the road. We'll see you guys next time. Fire it up, footballers. Of course, kick that like button like you're trying to burn down, like you're trying to score a goal on the YouTube algorithms. Kick it. I hang out here and talk hours with you guys. Chicago Fire greatly helps increase the Fire, increase the MLS, increase the YouTube algorithms likes for the MLS content. Greatly appreciate it, guys. So must-win game against a DC, says AK Gaming as we close the show. I agree. I don't know if it's a must-win game. Not yet. We're not at that point yet, AK. You think so? Because must-win game means like jobs on the line. Like jobs on the line, playoffs on the line. It's a must-win game in the way that you're saying probably that to get things going better in the right direction. Yeah, we have 2 positive results here in these ties, but we need full 3 points. We need to start climbing up that table. We need to start making tracks in MLS because that's how you make the playoffs. You ain't making tracks in MLS, getting those 3 points when you can, especially at home, you're not going to make the playoffs. And we need to start picking up those points, full 3 points at home especially. I think that's what AK's talking about. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know if you guys have a bet. I think it's fun sometimes picking out draws too. Like, where do you see a draw this week? Let's see. I see one with Austin FC. LAFC could be a draw. I mean, they all could be draws. Maybe we bet a draw for the Fire. Draw here. Yeah. Bet a couple draws here. Orlando versus Cincinnati? I'm not so sure. Who's weak at home? Weak. Oh, that's just a crazy. $4 on that? And 800? 4 draws? That'd be crazy. 5 wins 1,000. I don't have the confidence of 5, but I'll just do it. Scared money don't make money. Learned that from the podcast. All right, guys, and think that's going to do it for me. I made my couple MLS bets. Of course, we will get more MLS Chicago Fire bets going about half hour before 6:30 match on March 12th when Fire take on DC United. The match is away. So come hang out here in Spitting Fire. Pull up a stream of the game. It'll be on CF97 or it'll be on WGN or on ESPN Plus. And pull up a simul stream of me out on the laptop or on the iPad, what have you, or on the phone. Get your chat going. Throw your comments. Throw your remarks on the game as we get the game going. You guys are my color commentators. I depend on you to help make this show the best in YouTube. And that's what it is, guys. Thanks to having the best chat in YouTube. Guys like AK, guys like Connor, guys like Sons of Pitch. All my bros. All right, guys. All my bros and sisters. I will catch you guys later on the next Firecast 97. Greatly appreciate the support from you Fire fans. As always, check out our cool special stuff that we got, that we referenced in the beginning. Awesome little initiatives that we got there if you guys want to be a part of something special. Well, catch you guys on the next episode, Firecast 97. I think, Vamos Fire! We'll hopefully have another live show during the week here as the week goes on, and usually I'll put out like a 30-minute tweet on the Twitters, but it's all about YouTube, guys. It's all about YouTube. I see all you guys tweeting on the YouTube, putting your thoughts out there. Let's make this here on Chicago Fire Spitting Fire the best Chicago Fire fan community of them all. Your comments, your insight in the game is second to none. I love every bit of it, Fire fans. Greatly appreciate you guys spending time here on Spitting Fire. We'll catch you on the next one. All right, guys, powering it down. Fire it up. Vamos! Later, guys. Woo. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your week. And we'll have some great content for you here on Spitting Fire as the week goes on. Thank you, everybody.